as I'm on this ride, I passed by a group of bikers. I'm on one side of the road, they on the other. I got one headphone in, but my left ear is free, so I can hear them at the very end. And one of them shout out, "You're going the wrong way." I thought that was funny. All I could do was laugh. That's cool. He probably sees some parables in that itself. But the real reason I wanted to do this, because when I had a thought, I need to start writing them down. I need to say what I feel and feel what I say. Put yourself in position. And what I mean by that is, you're gonna have to do things you probably have never done or don't want to do in order to get where you've never been, but you always wanted to be. That's just what it is. And I use this biking, since I'm in the moment, for the example. Who knows who in the bike world? If I never put myself in the bike world, I may not meet the people I may not meet people I may need on the journey to where I want to go. Moving to Texas, linking up with banks. You got to put yourself in position to get what you always wanted. I'm earning more money than I've ever earned in my life. Let's keep what it is. I'm 25 years old. And at this rate, as we close in on May, it's May 25th, I'm on pace to make my first six-figure earning gross income for the year. Yes, I will, God willing, I keep grinding and no act of God happens that wipes me off the face of this earth. I'll earn six figures this year. I do not believe that's achievable in Corvallis, Oregon, charging $30 to $40. I'm up this early because I actually have a client who booked the early bird and paid $132 for my 8 a.m. slot. For 60 minutes of my time, $132. Now, I just use that as an example for the overall message. You got to put yourself in a position. Nobody gets there by accident. You don't just stumble across people. Sometimes you do. Sometimes God's favor works in that way. But things don't just happen. You got to make them happen. You have to put yourself in position. Top of the top, TMC. Just keep it going, man.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the What's Up Next podcast. I'm Justine.
And I'm Demetrius, the guru of balance.
So what am I?
I would consider you a strong voice of logic.
I can accept that. Anyway, on this podcast, we're going to take a deep dive into some interesting topics and everyday situations that we face as a young married couple.
We often ask ourselves one of three questions. What's next? What's going on now? And what the hell was we thinking back then? But don't take my word for it. Keep listening and you'll find out. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. We appreciate you all listening on yet another episode. I'm not sure what number this is anymore, and I don't really care. We appreciate you tuning in nonetheless. Happy June. I believe it's June now.
Yeah.
So we're month 6 of the year. That's exciting. And that clip you had heard at the beginning of this episode was actually me recording myself on a bike ride around 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I had sent it to Justine. It was just kind of like an idea I had that popped into my head. And that thought or that saying, phrase came from the belief that you really have to put yourself into position. There's a lot of things in life that we go through or that we aspire for.
Yeah.
And very, very rarely do we recognize the effort, time, sacrifice it takes to get to those things.
Yeah.
And we make it seem like it's easier done than said, when it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And I just, in that moment, I was like, you really just got to put yourself in position to do these things. Like, it's going to require you to get uncomfortable and do things that you do not want to do. That's just what it is.
Yeah. I think you brought up something that was really cool in that video of just like, you know, I recognize why I'm here in this moment of I'm biking at 4 a.m. because I have an early bird client. And that then leads me into my success professionally and being able to reach the limits that I thought I had when I was in, or I said exceed the limits, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Exceed the limits that I thought that I had when I was in Corvallis, Oregon, and coming out here, now that limit doesn't exist anymore because I'm willing to put in the work, right?
Yeah.
I think you also have really good clients who are in that position that are able to speak to you every day or every week when they're in the shop, and transfer that kind of energy to you and say that you're like, you can do it. But you've also put yourself in that position of being here and being present, and making the time.
Yeah. Like, and I know we harp on it often, a lot, or whatever. This may not be your first time hearing it. It may be your fourth, fifth, or sixth. But making that sacrifice and taking myself out of an environment that I was super comfortable in Corvallis, Oregon, just cutting hair and doing what I was doing. I put myself in position moving out here in Texas, taking a leap of faith, making some sacrifices. And then now you see, 2 to 3 years later, the returns of that sacrifice. But you have to put yourself in position. Like, you have to get out and go get it. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to do the things that you don't want to do. And I think we had that moment this morning, kind of like working out. I'll let you explain it, but we do have a guest with us for these next couple weeks.
Yeah, my youngest brother, Kingston, is staying with us for 3 weeks, which is super exciting. Like, I'm trying to get him out of his element, expose him to something different. I mean, the biggest thing that he said is like, I haven't been the one to see Texas. He's the only one in the family that hasn't come out here. So I made it a point to make sure that I brought him out here this summer. And we worked out this morning, which was an experience in and of itself.
For both sides.
Just because you get to really, truly see his work ethic. Like, I think if you really want to see somebody's work ethic, you got to take them outside of their element. And push them a little bit more, because it's like, are you going to be able to transfer what you think you have into something that's uncomfortable for you because it's new? Elaborate on that. What you mean by it? So we did a HIIT workout, right? And in the garage. And we did a HIIT workout in the garage. He's a hooper, so he's a hooper. He plays ball. I don't know, whatever you want to say, right? So
he's a basketball fanatic, and he actively practices.
I think a lot of his workouts include, like, going out, shooting, doing drills, right? But we did a HIIT workout with a medicine ball slams, sit-ups, ab rollouts, jump rope, pull-ups, high knees, and like, was he able to transfer the same amount of work ethic into dribbling a ball into a HIIT workout? And it didn't transfer over for him. And for me, I was just like, so do you have it or not have it? Like, and that for it just registered, like, okay, it ain't clicked yet. It ain't clicked. Excuse that thunder. Oh, Texas is having a day.
Definitely some thunder coming this way. So if you hear a loud boom, just know Justine did not pass gas. That was the I'm sorry, I had to do that.
Okay. All right. That's wrong. That's just wrong.
I'm sorry. Okay. Back to your point.
Okay. God, you suck. Anywho, this morning we did that, and it was just, I don't even know what it was that I was just like, I could feel myself kind of getting frustrated, like, and I knew it. Demetrius is a little bit more level-headed, and I think also just being a male and a man, like, how to, like, hey, how do I talk you through this? What do you kind of need? What kind of...
I don't want you to quit. I want you to get motivated. I want to motivate him.
Right.
Like, you're going to work. I'm not going to let you sit here and slack just because you don't feel like doing it.
Right.
I need you to have as much eagerness to jump rope and actually do consecutive jump ropes as much as you want to dribble this ball in the next couple minutes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So one of the
keep the same energy.
Hit moves that so at first it was all 6 rotations, whatever. It was just like what me and him would do. And then Demetrius was like, this just ain't working. So he brought out the basketball, let him dribble for one of the rounds. And I think after that moment had happened, he was like, okay, I'm a little bit more like, I can do this. I can work through it. And you can actually kind of see it shift a little bit. Like, he would work a lot harder. He would start on the time that he was supposed to start on.
Yeah.
And even by the end of it, I asked him, I was like, are you tired? He's like, no, I'm not tired. But you could tell, like, he was like, damn. Because we were only supposed to do 30 minutes and we did the full 45. And he was just like, shit. But he got through it. Like, and I think that gives him the confidence to be able to be like, okay, I can take what I just learned of this hit, take it back home with me and do that, because that probably will also make me a better player, not just dribbling a ball, not just shooting and doing drills. Like, I need to be able to do a mix of both in order to put myself in position. Like, all these kids want to talk about, and I will specifically even talk about him, is being drafted, playing for the NBA. And it's weird to say because I always talk about those kids, and I didn't realize Kingston was one of them, not gonna lie.
What you mean we talk about those kids?
I always think about like those kids that are just like, and specifically young black men who are like, NFL is my dream or the NBA is my dream.
And lock in on that and that only.
And that's just where they want to be. And I didn't realize until probably like a couple days ago, before we had left Sacramento to come here, that was him.
Yeah.
That he was that kid that I've been talking about. And not in a bad way, but I'm just like, nah. And we got to get you out of that.
I don't want to misinterpret what you're saying, but I don't think we have to get him out of anything. We are not shooting down any dreams. Like,
absolutely not.
If he wants to do, and I know you agree. I'm just making sure the audience understands where we're coming from. I have no issue with anybody's aspirations. I just said on the previous podcast that I aim for my goals really high. What is it called? I over what and under?
You overpromise
and under deliver. If I overpromise my dreams, like say millionaire by 25, and I come up 999. No, I'll play short. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, I'm not here to crush or stop or discredit anybody who's aiming for such a high goal. I just need the work ethic and the commitment and everything that goes into the process to reflect how bad you want to get to that level. Like, I can't have your output be here and your input be steps below.
What was the show that we just finished watching?
Top Class.
What is it?
Uninterrupted. I believe.
Uninterrupted. It talks about Sierra Canyon and the basketball team, and obviously, if you know about Sierra Canyon, you know. But to watch that with Demetrius, myself, and Kingston, and I asked him like the intuitive questions, like, do you really think you could compete at this level? And he was like, yeah, I think I can. Actually, no, I take that back. He was like, yeah, I can, maybe even better. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna knock it, but I want to know that you're mentally there, but you physically got to get there. Like, what do we need to do to put you in that position? Because what I'm not going to do is accept the fact that you say, yeah, I'm doing everything that I can, or that, hey, I didn't have access or I didn't have the resources to get better, when you know damn well you do. Like, you have siblings that are willing to put you there. You have parents that are willing to put you there, but you have to be willing to show that you want to be there.
I think they would call this ignition.
Yeah.
Like, he has to be the driving force. Yeah. Like, nobody's gonna force him to do anything. Nobody's gonna make you go out and shoot. Nobody's gonna make you I'm not sure, I believe they don't have to, but nobody's gonna make you have to work out. And just understand that the competition level is like that. On that level. Yeah.
I didn't realize these kids are playing like real NBA players right now. Like,
they training like NBA players. I don't watch
the NBA like that, but when I watched that whole documentary, I was like, damn, these kids are doing things that I didn't see people do in high school.
Right. And I think, and I'll kind of mention it today, like, if hoop is what he wants to do, I can show him some 12-year-olds that's really like that. Yeah. I got a partner, Mike Coleman, running his thing, open gym runs out in SoCal, and these 12U, 13U dudes hooping like grown men. Like with the access to more trainers, information, all that's being poured into these children younger and younger.
Yeah.
It's like the talent level and the requirement it takes to play at that level is way more.
Yeah.
It's way more invested than what it was when you can just start playing in 9th grade and think you're gonna, get a scholarship to a university, which is Demetrius Watts suffered from that misconception because, and it's funny because J. Cole said it in one of his podcasts, and don't crucify me for this, but he was saying like, bro, I didn't have a male figure tell me, hey, bro, you're either what you're doing right now isn't gonna yield that result that you think you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So you need to put more effort in and go and do what's required, or you need to recalibrate and reconfigure what it is that you really want, because people just aim aimlessly at things, thinking it's enough, and they're not really having people tell them like, yo, that's not enough. Yeah. But it doesn't help coming from me. It doesn't help coming from an individual who doesn't know anything about that arena. I think it has to come from individuals who's been there, done that, and in that space. Yeah. You either succeeded at it or you failed at it. So, hey, I can tell you exactly how to get there, or I could tell you where I've made, I would have made choices differently in order to get me to that level.
I think in general, people just need to be exposed to those spaces. Like, you either need to choose to expose yourself in those spaces, or someone's going to put you there, right? Like, anything under 18, I think your parent kind of puts you in that position, right? Like, I think about competitive soccer for myself. I think about like football for you, basketball, like things like that. Like, your parent is signing you up for these for you to kind of be exposed and be able to compete and say like, okay, I'm better than you, but I'm not better than you. So how do I get here where I want to be, right? Like, you pick where you want to be. You just got to figure out how you're going to get there. When you're above that age of 18 and you're outside of college, or when you're in college, it's like, okay, now I really got to like put myself in that position and put myself in that space where you're like, damn, I'm a little uncomfortable, but I've already been exposed to that feeling.
Yeah.
So I don't mind being in that space now, because I know how to kind of fix myself up to be like, okay, I'm ready and I'm prepared and I can do this.
Are you saying that anything prior to 18, it's upon guardians and parents to put those, and just we're talking about take it outside of hoop or take it outside of anything athletic, like, is it your job to put that child in position put them in position, or do you let the child put themselves in position?
I think as a parent, if you know that your child wants to do something or is passionate about something, it is your job to put them in a position and expose them to someone who is successful at that something, if that makes sense. Because I know personally for me, my dad thought he was jacks of all trades, and he was like, I can teach you this, and I can teach you this, and I can teach you this. But it's like, you know that you have somebody else who can teach it to be better. I think he got better at that with my younger brothers, but with me, he wanted to be the one to kind of execute all of the teachings. And it's like, I know now that because he did that, I probably won't do that. Like, so I would rather.
When I hear that, I think about, like, as a father, God willing, and the opportunity comes, like, what I would think for myself, what I would do, and what I think other fathers do is like, I want to be the first to teach you the principles.
Oh,
but it's like I want to teach you the principles of life and things like that. But once it comes with my kid comes to be telling me, hey, bro, like, writing papers, that's not my avenue.
Definitely ain't mine.
I don't. I don't do it. So I don't mind sending you to your auntie and uncle that was helping me write papers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't mind passing the reins to somebody who is more educated in doing that. I don't have that.
And I think, and I'm not pride. A parent, but as a parent, I think sometimes my parents struggled being able to give up their pride and say, okay, someone else knows this better than I do. And that's where it's
and that's what we learn.
You limit your child a little bit. Like, you have to be able to say, like, okay, this person knows it. You need to go shoot around with this person. I'll take it
as far as I can, but once that capacity is reached, and I'm no longer like aiding you like I was prior before, hey, you gotta let you fly. I gotta let you go get it in with the real ones.
There's only so much I can learn with you. Like, I think Banks is doing a really great job of showing this publicly.
Phenomenal job.
I mean, I don't know how much this man knew about baseball prior to Malik. I mean, I think enough, right? Mm-hmm. But you can tell that he is learning the sport with Malik enough to teach it to him. But I have full confidence in Banks that once Malik gets to that point, he's going to say, no, I got to tap out. I got to let somebody else do it. And I'm sure he's had that conversation with you.
And I don't have to, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to say, I'm going to first give my guy his credit. Absolutely. Banks, you're doing the dang thing.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know about him, his name is Armand Banks. Follow him on Instagram.
Watch his son's
watch they ain't cute.
They're so cute.
They're cute to y'all, but that man putting in work.
But he is putting in work. But he's teaching
he's not even
life lessons and baseball. Like for him to teach him how to breathe in moments, or hey, you know,
keep your eyes on the ball.
Right.
Like those are principles. He's just doing it through sports, so it's transferable.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love about it, because obviously we have these conversations, and it makes so much sense to me. It's like, yo, yeah, teach him through that, and Banks will say it. Bro, he's like, bro, even if he does, which we have the utmost certainty or confidence that he will continue baseball, but slight chance he doesn't, he can still take everything that he's learned in that process and go apply it to whatever else he wants to do.
Let me ask you, do you think you learned more
and put himself in position?
Yes. Okay,
the principles put you in position. I just got to get that out there. Go ahead.
Do you think you learned more life lessons in sports than you did in school?
100%, 1,000, 2,000, 300,000, 1,000,000,000,000%.
All your years of school. Think about it. Like how you played sports for until you were
on the playground.
20,
I learned
21.
More.
Until you were 20, you played sports. Not just worked out, but played a sport with a team.
Nah, I was 18. I was done. I think.
Okay, 18.
Yeah.
You started at what? 3, 4?
I don't know. Yeah, whatever the baseball was.
Right.
T-ball.
School, you start at what? 4? You go until you're 22, whatever. So you got more years of school than you do with sports, technically.
It could vary, but essentially, yes.
And you still think that you got more life lessons out of sports?
Yes, absolutely.
And what was the biggest one?
The biggest lesson?
Yeah.
Nah, that's too tough. That's too tough. I don't want to be cliche and give you something that's just like.
You can give me the cliche.
No, I don't like cliche. I want something like I'll come back to that. But what I can say is, with sports being interpersonal and you have to deal with not only yourself but teammates and coaches, you learn way more. I remember my coach Paul Doherty, Sac High Dragons football coach.
Talked about it all the time.
Man, anybody who was a Dragon from the years of that he was there can attest to this man and the teachings he brought to all of us as young men, growing up and maturing. But he would always say, bro, please and thank you will get you way farther in life than any of your talent. Like our team dinners, we had team dinners. I'm just, and that was 4 years of my life, just 4.
Yeah,
just 4. I didn't play football prior to 9th grade.
Okay.
I tried out when I was younger. I had an asthma attack and my mom put me out. I was a little too chubby. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I didn't play football, but before that, coach hooping in 7th and 8th grade at the middle school we went to, Edward Harris. I played there like Coach Stewart, if anybody remembers. I mean, I remember these men. I haven't spoken to them in years, but these men were so pivotal in me maturing as a young man and the life lessons that I've taken away, man. I will always give credit to that.
Yeah.
School teaches you how to complete the task. It don't teach you how to become a man. In your situation, I'm sure school didn't teach you how to become a woman.
No.
Either your household did or sports did.
Yeah, I think you learn the most from your house, and then for me it would be sports taught me the most. That'd be my second ranking, and then school probably taught me the least. If I'm going 1 through 3.
Yeah, school taught me. School put me in the position.
The only thing school taught me how to do.
I'm finna keep going on that, bro. Because put yourself in a position. Yeah. School. I always think God gave me that Bill Gates Millennium Scholarship because to go to that school and end up at Oregon State put me in a position to meet you. It put me in a position to do what I did in terms of like scholastically and leaving a legacy and with my fraternity and everything. And then that is where I learned how to like really become Cuts by Watts. Like school put me in a position, but it didn't teach me anything. Everything else was outside of school. Everything else.
Yeah.
Anything else I give credit to the principles I taught and the life lessons I learned was outside of school. None of it was in the classroom.
Yeah. The biggest thing I will say that school taught me was probably just like being able to manage your time.
Okay.
Like, but I also give that to sports too, because in order for you to play sports, you had to know how to manage your time with school. So it's like it kind of went hand in hand.
Yeah.
But other than that, like,
and I don't want to.
I don't want to. I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
School does not prepare you for life. Let's just say that. Like, you sitting in history classes, you sitting in econ learning,
none of that information today.
Nothing. Like,
and I know it's frustrating because it may sound like we're downplaying school, but school. No, you funny. School is a tool. It's a resource. It's just like money. Like, use it in a ways to get you to where you need to go. Use yourself to put you in a place you need to be. But you're not using. Some people ain't using. I'm not using U.S. history. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not using geology or none of that right now.
No.
I'll just be honest. The stuff I wish I had learned,
Yeah.
and which many of my clients and many conversations I have with adults my age say they wish they would have had, was never taught in school. So that's why I'm really not an advocate for it. But I know you have to do it.
Yes.
And I'm
now,
not
what
saying,
I will say though is with COVID, I think I've learned that school is a huge social factor though. Like, do you know how many kids don't know how to look at you like in your eye and talk to you because school has been out for 17 plus months for them now?
I couldn't imagine.
Where they're just not being socialized. It's like, and that's why they say when kids start like kindergarten or preschool, like, you're just really going to socialize them. You're not going because it's like, oh, you're really teaching them something fantastic. Like, no, my kid just needs to know how to be social around other people other than the parents and the grandparents and the other people that come to visit. Like, with kids their age.
Yeah.
I think that's really it. And that's why, I mean, shoot, from COVID, I now understand, just being someone who trains kids in that age, in that realm, like, some of these kids do not know how to socialize.
No, I don't really know. The kids that I am fortunate enough to service, which is very few.
Are great kids.
Their parents have done, there's actually specifically one, and I won't, his name is Blake. I'm not going to put his government or his parent out there like that. But his name is Blake, and Banks and I are always, like, shocked. And probably Banks more than myself because he has a son, right? So he's probably...
And you said, how old is he?
Blake is... I think he's 3 or 4. I started cutting him at 2. I think he's 4 now.
Okay.
If he's not 4, he conducts himself... He'll be like, yo, what's up, man? Like...
Yeah.
And I'm just like, bro...
And this was the same kid that came in and, like, didn't want to be touched for a minute, like, at the
but he wasn't like
cut?
that because I think his parents did an excellent job of letting him be him, socializing him. Like, I, as little as I know, I would extract a whole lot from what I've seen. You feel me? So I think that's the key to speak to that socialization piece. It's important. Like, don't coddle them. Don't let them do what they got to do to become comfortable. He'll come in and have conversations with us. He's 4 and he feels comfortable addressing us, looking in the face, making a joke at 4 years old.
Yes.
And we 25, 30 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing to me. I don't think that's coincidence at all. And because I've serviced a lot of kids around his age, and I know a lot of kids his age, that's not anything short of great nor normal. But it should be. Why are you making that face?
I'm just gonna say it on that note, can we just say, put your child in position. Put yourself in position. Shoot, like, if you're ever gonna be a parent, just know, put your child in position. If you're not a parent and you're still an adult just trying to learn the game and understand things, put yourself in position. And it's okay to be uncomfortable for a minute. It's only gonna last a couple seconds, in my opinion.
And then if you're both or neither, so like you said, if you're a parent, do that. If you're not a parent, do that. Demetrius, not a parent, right? I'm putting myself in position to learn things that I eventually want to use to put my child in position.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how to garden. You know what I'm saying? I've had conversations with black men like, yo, bro, would you mind teaching this or helping me learn this? Because I know this is something I don't know because I wasn't taught, but I would love if I could teach my seed this.
Yeah.
Be that.
That's a great bar.
Be that. Like, thank you. But that's just how I feel. Like, if you don't know, go learn. Yeah. Put yourself in position. And then your kids don't got to be out of position like you potentially, like you may have been.
Yeah.
And then look, what we're doing, that we're breaking cycles, we're advancing, we're becoming better, and we're passing the torch.
Yeah.
and continually growing as that, torch is being passed. And
one of my clients said that
we're benefiting the generations that come after us by putting
10%
ourselves
10% more than what you were taught yourself. Like, go outside of yourself to learn 10% more, because then your child will go on to learn 10% more, to give more to the next generation.
And that's real. And the more we do that, we get better. And then we actually start to see the fruits of our labor. Like, none of this stuff is done in vain.
Yeah.
If it's done with intention, what Banks is doing is done with it. Yeah, everything's done with intention. Intention. Put yourself in position. Thank you for listening to this wonderful episode. We hope you enjoyed it. And that's all I can say. I don't got much to say. I
think you did great. We did great.
Appreciate your love.
We'll see y'all next Wednesday.